Welcome to another episode of Get Fit. I'm Tam, this is Des, and today we're going to be talking about stress. So stress has been a topic that has come up quite a bit lately, and fitness or movement is one very good way to deal with stress. I've had a few clients in the past who come to train with me after work, and when they walk in the door, I could tell right away that they're stressed out. Like, you can feel stress on another person. It's just an energy that they carry. And I remember this one session, I was like, all right, let's grab these medicine balls. We're gonna huck them around the room for a little while. And we got to throwing the medicine balls, and just, I could feel the stress just disappear off of this one particular client. And I find there are certain exercises that relieves stress a little bit better than others. And it's the higher intensity, full body, quick blast of cardio that can really shake off some of that irritability. So if you are at work, say, and you're stuck in an office or you're stuck in a workplace where there is quite a few stress triggers and you're not quite sure how to deal with that, you've tried a few things, here's a few things that you can try. Keep in mind, these are full body, quick, high intensity. So we're gonna start slow and then work our way up. Give it a shot, see how it makes you feel. If you do find that it is helping your mood, that's great, you let us know. The first exercise we're going to do is we are going to start with jacks. Now, we're going to start nice and easy because you're not quite warm yet. This is a high impact exercise. So we're gonna start with low or no impact. So just a step to the side, open up through the hips, open up through the shoulders, full range of motion. Get those arms up, get those legs out to the side before we just throw down 50 high intensity jumping jacks. We wanna make sure we prime the body for that a little bit. So open up the hips, get that heart rate up a little bit, get your mind ready. Do this for about 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, we'll take a little bit of a break, shake it out, get your mind ready for the next set. So what we're going to do on this next set is we're gonna take it to full jumping jacks. So start off nice and easy, and then once you get into that rhythm, you can pick up the intensity a little bit and get those arms moving a little bit faster and get the legs moving a little bit faster. We'll do this for 30 seconds now. Think about that person that stresses you out. All right, get it out. There you go. You can add some punches, add a kick if you need to. It really does feel good to think about what that is and just get it gone. 10 more seconds. Push, push. And take a break. All right, so a little bit of that energy gone out of the body. We don't want to hang on to that, right? We need to get rid of it somehow. There's a few things that can stress us out, so make sure we're not hungry, for one. Sometimes if you are feeling those feelings of stress, you could be hangry. Take a minute, focus on your breathing, take some nice, big, deep breaths, get back to your center. It's still not good, you still can't go out there and you're still feeling these feelings. Let's take it to the next level. So next level, if you're real mad or whatever it is you are, we're gonna take it to star jumps. So all the way out, we'll get some air, come down into that squat, add some power. Everything you got into this one. Nice and high. Legs come out. This one is really gonna shoot your heart rate way up. So make sure there's nothing around you. Make sure your dog's put away or your cat isn't. They're gonna come out and get you. 10 seconds. Couple more, and then take a break. So shake that out, grab some water. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better after these sets. All right, so that's pretty high intensity, those jacks. You should be able to get some of that stress out. If not, if jacks just aren't your thing, you're not into it, you don't have the space for it, or you feel like someone's gonna hear you doing that, or whatever it is, we're gonna take this to a mountain climber next. So you have a few different options. You can use the wall, but we're gonna start down on the floor. Nice and easy. So we'll take that out into a plank position. And then we're gonna take our knee and just pull the knee into the chest and then bring that back out. Pull the knee in and push it back out. You wanna keep your abs nice and tight. Maybe come back a little bit. There you go. You can walk those feet forward and back if you need to. 10 more seconds. So we can get that core warmed up. And last one. All right. So if you do have the core stability to maintain that position and you still have some of that energy, you want to get that out, we're going to intensify that a little bit by bringing the knees into the chest a little bit faster. So we're going to add some speed to that and also add a little bit of power. So pull, pull, pull. See how close you can get your knees to your chest. Don't forget to breathe. Get that stress out a little bit faster. 10 more seconds. And last one. All right. Shake that out. Grab a drink if you need to. One more we're gonna add. Instead of bringing your knees straight in, we're gonna take our knees across the frame of our body and over towards your opposite shoulder. So adding a little bit of a twist in there, or cross body movement. 30 seconds, let's see if we got this for 30 seconds. There you go. So bringing the knee over. You can add a little bit of speed if you're comfortable doing so. Ten more seconds, abs tight. There you go. Get a nice rhythm happening. And last one, shake it out. Take a nice little break. See how you feel. Hopefully some of that stress has floated away. If not, we'll bring out the big ones. So we have everybody's favorite. Well, I don't know. When I say, hey you guys, we're gonna do some burpees in my group fitness class, I hear groans. Like people wanna leave. And there's a good reason for that, because they are tough. But we're gonna start from the very beginning. So from that level 1 position, you're gonna assume the burpee position with your feet hip distance apart, abs tight. We're gonna come down into a squat. Bring your hands shoulder width apart out onto the floor in front of you and walk your feet behind you into a plank position. You got it, drop the hips and then bring those feet back, stand it up and take your hands, reach them up and over your head, and we'll repeat that. So it does take a minute to just get into that rhythm. Think about all those steps. So hands come down, feet come back, hold the plank, bring it forward, hands come up. So even though we're not adding any bounce or any quick movements, this is tough. Your heart rate is going to come up and quickly. Let's do 10 more. You can play around with that tempo, speed it up, slow it down, hold that plank if you need to. And last one, and shake it out. All right, so that's tough, 30 seconds of those. So that was level 1. See, that's why people don't like these. Level 2, we'll add a little bit of a quicker time to that. So you can take both feet out, A little bit faster. And stand it up. There you go. Nice. So 30 seconds here. You can add that hop if you like. Just make sure you're nice and strong through the shoulders. If you have any type of shoulder injury, be very careful with this one, with the bounce. A couple more. And last one. One more. And shake it out. All right, so this next one, I won't make you do too many of these. We'll just show our viewers here what it looks like. So we're gonna come full intensity into that jump. Bring your hands all the way up as high to the sky as you can, and then down to the floor. Kick both feet behind you and back up. So we'll try 4. We'll do 4 of them. All the way up, down, pop it out. 2 more. And last one. All right, if you're really mad or stressed out or whatever, try doing that for 30 seconds and as many rounds as you need to. All right, so we're gonna take a little break. After the break, we'll hit you with some mobility.
Welcome back to Get Fit. Before the break, we gave you a couple high intensity exercises as a way to relieve a little bit of that everyday stress. Now, I fully believe that any movement is good movement, and one of the best things you can focus on is actually mobility. And these are probably the lowest intensity of movements you can do, because here's the thing. If you can't lift your arm above your head without pain or some kind of resistance, that's not normal. But we like to ignore those warning signs, so we're gonna go over a couple common areas that always seem to be, nagging injuries, have that lack of mobility. We're gonna go over the shoulder, a little bit of your thoracic spine, so that twisting, the hips, and then the ankles, because the better you move, the more pain-free you can move, the happier and healthier you're gonna be. So let's start with the shoulders. So the first thing, this is probably the most simple of simple, is all we're gonna do is raise our hands up overhead. And what she's gonna focus on is not letting her shoulders come up. So if you find that as you raise your hands up, your shoulders are starting to sneak into your ears, we wanna keep them down. And then she's just gonna come back as far as she can, a little bit behind her head, keeping those shoulders down. So let's just do 5 of those. So just all the way up, face your palms right to the floor. Perfect. Last one, we'll do one more, keeping that down. Beautiful. So now, this is commonly called a shoulder dislocator, but that's not what we're aiming for here, it's just the movement. So this time she's gonna take her hands in kind of a Y position, so kind of like you're doing the YMCA, I suppose. And from this starting position, she's gonna take them all the way up, flip her palms backwards, and come all the way down. And when she stops there, she's gonna stop, reverse back up, twist those palms, and back. Now this may be very challenging for some people if you do lack shoulder mobility. So the idea here is just to work to get more. So if you get to this point and that's all you can do, that's okay, just come back down. But ideally we want to get to a point where we can go all the way around and just get a little bit behind the body. And if you do have that sticking point, what you can also do is just start, come back as far as you can, come back to the start, and then just go as far back as you can and stop there. Beautiful. Let's do one more full rotation. So up and over, twist those palms. Awesome. So now let's move down the body right into that thoracic spine region. So we're gonna do what's called a windmill. So you're gonna stand your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, and you're gonna reach down and across your body for that opposite leg. And as you reach down, you wanna press your hips back, keeping those legs straight, not letting that other knee bend. So you wanna keep those legs straight and just reach for that opposite toe. So this is the first level of this one. So she's just gonna keep that body, keep those legs straight, keep that back straight, and just think about driving those hips back and not letting those knees cave in. So that looks pretty good. We're getting a decent stretch out of that. Now, to amp up the intensity, when she reaches down for that foot, she's gonna twist upwards. So she's gonna reach that opposite hand up towards the ceiling. Now, being able to touch your toe and open up that chest, this is really hard. So if you find that you cannot touch your toe and open up, just go as far as you can. So that might only be your knee. So just kind of show a modified version, yeah, right to her knee. So you might only be able to go that far, and that's okay. The idea of these movements is to better your mobility. So the more you do them, the better you're gonna be. You know, you might get to knee height and then work your way down to shin height. And then eventually, hopefully you're gonna be able to touch your toe, reach all the way up to the ceiling. Perfect. Very low impact. You don't need any equipment. You just need you and some space. So let's keep moving down the body. Move to the hips. So we're gonna sit on the floor and do what's called a 90-90. So what she's gonna do is sit on the floor and make a 90-degree angle with both of her legs. So she's got that front leg in a 90-degree, and she's gonna pull that back leg to a 90-degree. And then she's just gonna rotate side to side. So if you lack a little bit of hip mobility, you might not be able to have your weight forward. You might need to put your hands back like she has behind her and just work on that. And then once you get to a little bit better, you can take your hands up and just try and keep that body weight forward. So let's stay in this position, and we'll flop you over to the front there. It is challenging. And what she's gonna do is just lean her weight forward over that front foot and slowly rock back and forth. So this one, you're really gonna feel in those hips, right in those glute butt muscles. So she's gonna come backwards and all the way forward without hunching that back. So as she comes forward, just keeping that back flat. And she can actually pull this leg back a little bit if she can. Yeah, there you go, open it up a little bit. This, just to get into this position, can be very challenging. So if you need to, put that hand out to the side and just lean out to the side a little bit to help. To have your body stacked right over top of your hips, not everybody has that ability. So this is the kind of things we're working on. So let's swap sides. So bring that front foot a little more into a 90-degree. So forward, a little more spread out. This one right here. Yeah, there you go. And then slow rock back and forth. You're really gonna feel that pull right through the back of your butt as you come forward, and you just want to make sure you're keeping that neutral spine, so keeping that back straight. And once you've done this about 6 to 8 times, you can actually hold that front position. Really sink into that. And just count to 10. Focus on your breathing. Relieve that day's stress. Perfect. Now let's go down to the very bottom of our bodies. We're gonna go to the ankles. So the most simple of simple is just, let's start with some ankle rolls. So just in this seated position, you can hold one of your legs up, you can put it on a perch like she has, and you're just gonna do some slow ankle rotations. So we'll go clockwise a couple times, and then we'll reverse counterclockwise. So just get everything moving in there. You might hear a little bit of crunching and cracking, maybe a little popping. Nothing to be worried about. All right, and let's switch sides. So same thing. This too, you could also do standing. You could hang onto a wall and just rotate like that. So a few in one direction, and then we swap and go the other way. Perfect. Let's come up to a kneeling position. So this one you might want to fold up a mat or have something under your knee, just so it's not as hard. If you're on a hard floor or cement even, you're gonna want something under your knee. So let's come into a kind of kneeling lunge. And all she's gonna do here is lean her weight forward, and she's gonna focus on not letting her heel pop up off the floor. So she's gonna come as far forward as she can without letting that heel come off the floor, and then come back. So she's just gonna rock forward and back, making sure that heel does not pop up off the floor. As soon as that heel pops up, that's where we wanna stop. So just as far forward as she can. Let's do 5 more. So see how the heel popped up there? Really just right to that point. Slow and controlled. And let's swap sides. Same thing, don't go on to that. Don't let that heel pop up. Really push that heel into the ground. Only go as far as you can. And just drive forward. 3 more. Keep that heel planted. Get that knee right over your toe. Perfect. All right, let's come to a standing position. Now we're gonna add a little bit more movement for the last one here. So this is kind of a combination. We're gonna hit some hip, we're gonna hit some ankle, we're gonna hit some trunk rotation, maybe even some shoulder in here. So what we're gonna do is take a big step forward, so into a lunge. So you're gonna come into a lunge, you're gonna put your hands down beside your foot, and then you're gonna twist away from that foot. So twist up and towards the ceiling. You wanna try and look upwards. Bring that hand back down, and then you're gonna step it back into a plank and step that other foot forward. And do the same thing. So step that foot forward, open up that chest, coming away from that leg. You can use that leg to kind of lean into. Bring your hands back to center, step it back. Do a couple more on each foot. So it's a big step forward. This one might get your heart rate up a little bit. And we want to make sure that back is straight when we go into that plank. So open up as far as you can. Bring it back down. And last one. Step that foot up, open it up. So you can see a little bit of lack of mobility here. So this is a great one to add in there. Even gets your heart rate up a little bit. And step it up. I got one more for you, just like a bonus segment. So a lot of us do have problems with squats, and it can be either your ankle mobility, hip mobility. There's a couple things. So this is kind of how you find your squat position. Start with your feet hip width apart. For men, you're gonna be a little bit narrower. Women, usually we're a little bit wider because we have wider hips. So find a position, maybe turn your toes out a little bit, and we're just gonna sink down all the way to the floor. So drop your butt as low as you can, and if you don't feel like you could sit in this position for a long time, adjust it. So if something feels awkward, you might need to move your feet in, you might need to move them out, but you should be able to sit in this position for an extended period of time. So find that position, play around with it, and we're gonna do that twist again. So we're gonna sit in this position, we're gonna put one hand down and twist up to the ceiling. And then think about driving your knees out over your toes. So you don't want them to fall in, push them out, and then twist up. Let's do 2 more on each side. So twist it up, down. Remember, you gotta find that position. You might need to sneak your feet in a little bit. Should be a comfortable position. Last time. Perfect. All right, let's stand it up. So those are some quick mobility exercises you can add to any time of your day, even before you leave work, during work, smoke break. Whenever you have 5-10 minutes, add some of those in and pinpoint those areas of weakness or where you might lack mobility, because the healthier we can move through our lives, the better, the less pain, the better. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Get Fit. We'll see you next time.